Edwards on the drive, goes inside the floater. Turn him over again. Booker scoops it up. Booker brings the boom.
What is up, everyone? We're bringing the boom. It's the Hardwood Show, talking NBA DFS back from the All-Star break. We got DC, JSU, myself, and Big T, and it's four-man boost, so it should be a good time. This show will be over an hour. I would definitely be taking the over with all of us, even though it's a six-game slate. So we'll break it all down. We'll talk about it. DC, I'll go over to you first. How are things going over there on this Friday?
Doing well. We got the four-man booth. Always scheduled, rarely happens, so it's good to be on with the crew, all four of us talking ball here on Friday night. I know all of us are happy to have the NBA, flawed as it is, back in our lives after, frankly, too long of an All-Star break. Too long. Shorten that thing up by a couple days. But happy to be back. Happy to be breaking it down. And, hopefully picking some winners tonight.
Yeah.
No, DC, you can't shorten it up, okay? These players need their in-season vacation, their middle of the season vacation. You can't shorten it up.
You know what the number one problem is? These players just make too much money to care about the game of basketball. It's too much money. That's what I think it is. I know that makes me sound like a boomer, but why would you care when you're making?
That is definitely a boomer.
No, DC's 100% right. This is why the All-Star. This is why they don't care. This is why the All-Star game sucks. I say this
right, and he sounds like a boomer, JC.
That's fine. He can sound like a boomer, but you guys and I do shows with Tony enough to know when he always discounts shit like this all the time, and it's just he's correct.
It's not a talking point. Like everyone says the same thing. They get paid too much.
Okay, so you think it's wrong? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean I agree with the general point. And like, I'm drawing a blank because Soto got 750 million, right? How in the world is he going to care about baseball right now? Like these guys, I mean, I get the point. Like, of course they're not going to care as much as they did before. Like they get paid too much, but there's no. My point to it is though.
What are you saying? There's no fix.
Like they're still gonna get paid just as much. So,
well, I think legends like Soto, they have something to play for. It's all the guys in the middle of the NBA. You
think Soto's just showing up, still just grinding it out every morning?
I bet he is. Yeah, but the Jordan Pooles of the world, right? There's so many players like this who just they get $200 million. Why the fuck would they care going out?
To DC's point, Jordan Poole doesn't give a shit because the situation's in. When the locker room's great and you're loving the vibe, Soto probably cares way more. And the Mets
I do agree in general too. Like if you play for Washington and you're making $10 million to $20 million a year, you're showing up and you're just hooping, you're just playing. You don't care.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's definitely how
There's no pressure on you, right? Either Jordan Poole has no pressure on him. He's just making money and playing.
I bet he doesn't.
Okay, but I think the premise was more centered around the All-Stars. DC, am I right? Was that
I'm
more
talking about everybody. I mean,
you're talking about anyone? Okay.
The whole league. I mean, the whole league. It's just
it's not just basketball though. It's all sports.
The problem
is
it's not. Look at compared to football. Those players shoot up.
Well, they don't have guaranteed money in football.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the money
fix. You just said the fix right there, Tony. Fix. Forget these.
That's not an actual fix, though.
You walked right into it.
It'll fix shit. I'll tell you that right now, because these big guaranteed contracts. They're just too. Even in baseball, though, fucking 10 years or whatever the hell they're getting. That's too long. 20, whatever it is. That's crazy. Too long. 4 to 5 years, man.
They're definitely getting paid a lot, but hey, that's how it is right now. There's nothing you can do about it.
What the one dude used to say? We make a lot of money, but we spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Draymond, right? Draymond Green?
It wasn't Draymond. It was before Draymond.
Oh,
Draymond-
Draymond was killing me with all the crying about the young kids playing in
That's
the
what I'm
All-Star
saying.
game.
That's what annoys me with stuff like
Oh.
in Barkley, like, oh, we used to do that. Like, shut up, Chuck.
Shut up.
They act like they were like out there grinding in the All-Star game, slapping the floor and just grinding on defense. And
First of all, by the way, no, it was none of those guys. First of all, in the All-Star game, what happens is all of the All-Stars look to the best player on the floor. So if the best player on the floor is actually playing at the end of the game, then they'll all kind of follow suit. But like that's why like Chuck at the end of the you say, oh, because like you guys look towards the best player on the floor, who was like MJ a lot of the time or whoever it was, and they were probably trying in the end of the game. It's the same
end
thing.
of the game, correct.
It's the same thing with Kobe. Like we remember all those like little clips of him. All right, we're gonna turn it on. Like it's the last period. We're gonna quarter. We're gonna turn it on. We're gonna freaking go at it. And he'd get up in people's shit, pick up full court randomly. Like, yeah, that's what happens. This is the point where everyone's supposed to look to LeBron, and he's on the sideline with an ankle soreness injury.
Nothing kills me more than you talking about LeBron either. The dude's going on like his 29th year, and you're bitching about him taking a weekend off.
He played in a back-to-back.
And every tweet you send, I know you're just sub-tweeting me with your stupid tweets, and you're just like, oh, LeBron and AI is better than LeBron. I mean, all is just horrible sub.
Once
he is.
AI wasn't in the league at LeBron's age because he wasn't able to, and he was sitting there playing blackjack at the.
Yeah,
he was tired. His arms were tired from shooting it 39 times a game. He was worn out.
You want to know why AI wasn't in the league? Because he's fucking my size. He's fucking skinnier than me probably, and he had to play with
excuses. Play like a champion, JSU.
Play like a champion. I'm with Travis. Play like
no
a champion.
excuses, JSU.
Put
He can be out there hooping.
on his
I
name.
saw Tony Parker out there.
How many titles did AI get? It's all about titles. How many he get?
Said this motherfucker said how many titles.
He won a lot.
Hold on, let me pull the big T. Wait a second. Okay, hold on. Allen Iverson. Who did he play with? Oh, Dikembe Mutombo towards the end. Oh, Aaron McKee.
Big D.
Aaron McKee was one of his best players.
Eric Snow. Eric Snow was a hooper.
Eric Snow. That's who Iverson played with on those teams. Get out of here.
A lot of talent.
Yeah. JSU, Tony
we got to get the man going to read off these 49 injuries. JSU. I'm with this guy right here. Easy bets. Man, we'll read off 40 injuries to start. Do you think he will tonight?
I don't think
there's only 6 games. You know what? There's only 6 games. I'm going under.
Yeah, I would take the under there.
I'm taking the under. That's sharp right there. Sharp money's going towards the under.
I do want to say, Jason, I took 0 credit for Aaron Nesmith, but you shit on me all show. So I'm happy you gave me the credit, even though I didn't want it during the show. So thank you for giving me the credit I didn't ask.
I was wondering the tweet. I didn't when you circled the ownership. What did the ownership part mean?
Earlier in the day, it was just more so saying Aaron Nesmith I thought was going to be chalkier, and he wasn't. But that was because all the news came and everything. No. If you watch yesterday's show, you would get the Aaron Nesmith.
You were just pointing out that he shoved at like 0.2.
Let me tell you what really happened.
Mangone
mentioned Nesmith, then claimed that he was just pointing out that his ownership was too high and he didn't like him.
Well,
and then took credit when he had a big game. So he's just flip-flopping.
I didn't
the bench, Travis?
No, I didn't take credit, DC. I said it in the Discord chats. There's receipts. I said, DC is going to claim that I'm taking credit right now when I'm not. I'm just laughing at, we talked about on the show, his name, and it happened. I wasn't, and I even said in the Discord, I am not taking credit. So go back and read DC.
Wait a second. So you didn't actually like Aaron Nesmith? I'm so confused now. I thought you liked Aaron Nesmith. You didn't like him.
No, because the chat kept claiming that I liked him the entire show when I didn't. I didn't like him.
But then you took credit when he had a big game.
I didn't take the credit. You guys don't follow everything. It's okay. But it was. If you watch the show, you get it. DC, you clearly weren't listening like I was.
No, people in chat.
I had the show on, and I thought when I had the show on, that Mangone liked Aaron Nesmith. That's what I thought from listening
If
to
you
the
go
show.
watch-
Now
if you go watch the show,
that you let the chat impact your decision, Mangone. Come on. That's terrible.
Mangone's been roiding lately.
Tony, that's terrible.
The thing I want to know is how come all of us are centered in our thing, and JSU's always up here like this.
You want to know
Like,
why?
that's
You
why I
know
want. Look where Mangone and DC's head is. Look where mine is, and then your head is sticking out of the camera shot, staring me down. Oh,
Brady,
and
that's
Brittany's
good.
chiming in. Everyone's getting on Travis.
It's okay.
Yeah, mate, I agree, Brittany.
I'm down to fight people. I'll put
Just
the
being a
boxing gloves
neutral
up.
perspective, I think DC might have a point on this one. I think he might have you caught in the crosshairs.
You didn't go read the Discord chat. I literally said in the chat, I am not taking.
That was
victory.
afterwards, though. I thought
It was at the night of. I literally said.
it was before this. It was pre-slate.
No.
If it wasn't
No.
pre-slate, then it doesn't matter. That's after.
On the show, I literally say I am fading Aaron Nesmith. I wrote up the playbook and he has the name Fade next to it. Like, you guys are wrong. You're all wrong. Like, I did the playbook
If
yesterday.
you put fade, it's got to be. I kind of agree. If it said fade, that's clear cut.
Big
I don't
T,
give a
you know how to
shit
go
what
with-
Mangone
you know how
said.
to
I
go with
listened to the show, and it sounded like he liked Aaron Nesmith. That's all I know about the whole thing. And I had the show on.
And then the best part is he crushed, and he couldn't even take credit.
I couldn't take
3%.
credit. I couldn't take the credit. I couldn't. James, I'm yelling because I'm passionate. I'm Italian.
Let
That's
the
what we
boy
do.
watch.
I already know I've won this argument, so I have nothing more to say.
By the way, side note,
You're
did
just
you guys
wrong.
see Mangone
I'm
put his
sorry,
fists
wrong.
up? Like, Mangone, if you want to
He was
spar or
squaring up.
something.
That's because he saw
Yeah.
you looking up top at him down there
Well,
like this. He was ready to
this
get
is
him
why
up.
I was gonna say I got headgear, I got gloves. Come on down, Mangone. We'll spar.
I know we're in similar weight classes of all the people on the show, but I do not want to.
I spar with dudes that are like 205. You'll be fine.
I think I'd rather spar with like DC or Big T. over
Go
you.
205. Are you? Is that your weight bracket?
No, I'm saying Mangone's nowhere near 205, so we'll be fine.
When can we spar, JSU? I want to spar.
There we go.
Calm
See,
down.
now we're
I got
cooking.
headgear for you too.
All right,
Last
let's
time
go
you guys
now.
run my house,
You're
you were arm wrestling.
you're
You might as
lighter
well
than
box.
205.
I'll get in there.
I'll spar anyone that's like as long as they're like low twos, I'll spar you. But
All right, I'm
anything
in.
more
Let's
than
go.
that packs a little too much for JSU. So
What's the weight brackets? What's DC clocking in at?
205.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
JSU's 145. So you got him by 60.
wait, are you actually 205? I don't even believe that. Are you really?
Yeah.
No. Okay. All right, that's fine.
Thank you, Corey Holt. Thank you. You're my top MySpace top 8 of Rum Pure Sports guys.
Oh, BG, I gained some weight, bro. I gained some weight. I was like 125 for a really long time, 130. I'm like 145, 150. So I'll be fine.
All right. Well, I haven't even introduced JSU or Big T to the show. We haven't even done that stuff. But they're
I
obviously.
think you can skip that part at this point, man.
Yeah, I think so. I think we can.
The ship is sailed, my friend.
I think we did that ourselves.
I know. I thought it was funny. We never even got to that actually. But JSU, I will say, just before we start, what's the UFC landscape this weekend? We've been talking about boxing and stuff. Like, when's the show so you can tell the people about the UFC show and what's the card looking like?
Yeah, show is to be determined right now. Dan's on the IL. Dan's on the IL. I don't know what happened, but we'll have to see about the show. But if not, we'll have the content covered for you guys.
Got a couple other MMA people on here. You can always go like this if you need a call to the pen.
I might need a call to the pen. I don't know who's paying attention, but I might need a call because Dan's looking doubtful.
I did look at the card though, and when I saw that main event, I was like, "Ooh!" It looked a little shaky this weekend.
There's a lot of favorites, a lot of fights that.
Who's the main event though? It looked horrible.
It's Cejudo versus Yadong.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's rough.
Yeah.
This weekend.
There's a couple good fights though. I think anyways. You got Gene Matsumoto and Rob Font. I think will be a pretty good fight.
Or we going to Hooters for Hooters last call. They're closing shop.
We could go to Hooters if you want this weekend. I'd be down. Grab some wings. Last call at Hooters. Big T, you're a big Twin Peaks guy. Are you upset by the Hooters bankruptcy?
I mean, Twin Peaks is way better than Hooters.
Way better. Yeah,
The
Twin
food,
Peaks,
even like just everything about
it's not even close. It's not even
I actually
close.
don't
Hooters
even like
is terrible.
Hooters that much. Like, it's not that good.
Hooters is terrible.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
It was like the OG, like back in the day for sure, but it fell off big time.
We have to hit the Hooters one time, but
like everyone likes Twin Peaks though. Like I'll go to Twin Peaks with the family. Like they like it. Like Amber likes it. Like,
you won't take them to Hooters, though, Big T?
I actually don't. So it does go that kind of way.
You know what's funny? My wife's grandparents love Hooters. It was like the randomest thing ever. I was like, the grandparents love Hooters. I was like, what? You guys want to go to Hooters? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? I was like, okay. Okay, random, but we can do it.
All right, well, let's dive in and talk about NBA. We got a 6-game slate on DraftKings tonight, our sponsor. We'll kick it off first with Milwaukee and Washington. Of course, we got to talk about Giannis. He will be back. Damian Lillard, he is out. That's obviously a huge piece of news. And of course, the Bobby Portis steroid stuff, right? Obviously, that's a big deal. He's good. It's done for 25 games.
Painkillers.
Painkillers, whatever it was.
I don't believe anything they say.
It was a steroid substance abuse thing. I didn't read that much deep into it. So, but he's just gone for 25 games. That's going to be obviously impactful. Of course, we got the Washington side. We know how the Washington Wizards are. They are definitely not a fun DFS roster. It is the old Chris Middleton revenge game. So there you go. That'll be an interesting factor to this slate. Clearly, Giannis is going to be a stud that everyone's going to want to get exposure to. DC, we love the stack Wizards games. We hate trying to guess which Wizard it is, but what are we doing with this game here, DC?
Yeah, we got a double revenge game, right? You got Middleton against the Bucks, but I think maybe more importantly, Mr. Kuzma going back to Washington. Kuzma feels like a guy who might try to go off in this game. Not that the revenge is valid, right? Like he's like the player that made the Wizards as stupid as they were, one of the two. But I do think you'd like to go off, and with the players that Milwaukee's missing, Lillard and Portis, obviously. I like Kuzma's chances. I think Giannis is in a great spot here with no Portis, no Lillard. It's just going to have to be him offensively that does a ton. And then, man, even a guy like Brook Lopez, I think is somewhat interesting. Played 31 minutes yesterday. Obviously, no Portis in that one either. Put up 44 fantasy points. It's the Wizards. He can get hot from three. I mean, I think he's got a lot of upside. So I really like the Bucks side of this one. I think $2 or $3 is totally fine, even on the first game of the slate. And then Wizards, I'm less confident in. I guess Middleton makes some sense, but I still don't even feel great about that. But the Bucks side of this game, I do like a ton.
Yeah, JC, one of the big issues with this Washington team tonight is they're fairly healthy, right? Like they typically have guys in and out of the lineup, but tonight they got Poole, Coulibaly, Sarr, Middleton now obviously shaking it up, Carrington, Holmes, George, Kisper. I mean, they could mix in Champagny. They could play Vukovic if they want. Marcus Smart is there at 4.4K. So they have guys. I don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, it's one of the first games back, so I'm sure the projections are really fragile here. But I also don't want to play a crowded Washington Wizards situation. So what are you doing with the Wizards, and how are you handling the shorthanded Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, well, first off, Milwaukee, like you would assume that Giannis, even though he's in, he's going to probably play somewhat limited minutes. I mean, he played 23, 24 last night. Maybe he won't, but this game's against Washington. They sat Dame, obviously. I don't, if he was full go, I'd like Giannis, but I just don't think he's going to be full go. So Kuzma becomes the next best play. I get what you're saying on Brook, even though he played a lot of minutes last time out. The question is if I can play one of these cheap guys, a Gary Trent or a Kevin Porter. Gary Trent, 4,500 seems a little too much to me. Kevin Porter, maybe with Dame out, maybe he gets a little bump here. So I think he's someone I would keep in the pool just because he does have a ceiling. But outside of that, those are really – it's Kyle Kuzma is my favorite, probably Lopez too. And then after that, I'm probably not going to spend for Giannis, so Kevin Porter. 3. But the Washington side, it's really tough for me just because of the unknown, which is Middleton. Like, are they going to play him, 23 to 26, 7 minutes like he was playing with Milwaukee? Is he going to play more? You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do with someone like Chris Middleton who, probably doesn't fit into their long-term plans? But, someone that, a vet that some of the young guys can learn from. That's the real question for me. I just don't really feel comfortable with a lot of these Washington pieces. But if I knew like Middleton was going to play like 30 minutes or something like that, I'd probably play him. But with that unknown, I don't really like much of this spot. You can always play Jordan Poole for tournament upside. Like I said, he's like a great tournament play just because of how he is just completely boom bust. Like, it's either getting you 30 or he's getting you like 50, 60. It's pretty wild, but that's what he's been doing. So you can take that volatility in tournaments if you want. I'm not going to play like Koulibaly though. He's priced out, I think. Sar, I don't really love here. And then like all these other guys like Bub is priced too much, I think, with Middleton there. I'm kind of out on Washington outside of, if Middleton's starting, I think maybe I'll reevaluate. But right now, not much love from that side.
Yeah, I could see Middleton not start. I'm curious to see what they decide to do with that. But, we don't have the lineups. We'll wait and see. I'm sure that will adjust ownership around as well. Big T, I'll go to you. Talk about Jordan Poole. I mean, I love playing guards against the Milwaukee Bucks typically. It definitely makes a lot of sense. Also, we probably haven't talked enough about Ryan Rollins. We assume he will start in place. He's 3.6K. He is the chalkiest guy on the slate at 40% owned. And I think that's an important conversation. Obviously, Kyle Kuzma, 6.9K. That's a steep tag. I know they are missing Bobby Portis, but that is expensive at 6.9K. He's going to be around 30% owned. So in this early game, we have guys that are going to gain ownership. And of course, people might lock into plays, and then you might get lower owned plays later on. I know you wanted to put that up on the screen, Big T, that you're looking slimmer. But
it wasn't me that put that up.
That was me. I want Big T to confirm or deny these reports.
Maybe.
Shut up.
Maybe not. I don't know.
But Big T,
you are looking good, Big T. I think it's
thank
right.
you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that people think that.
I think you look like shit, just to be honest. But
thank you as well. I also appreciate that. But on the wall star with the Washington side, it's just Poole for me. I'm not a big Poole fan, but I like Mangone. I think Mangone said it, that I love to play these type of guards against Milwaukee. They just don't guard the perimeter. And Poole has actually been like pretty upside driven lately, where he dropped some hammers in there. So it makes a lot of sense. And Milwaukee's going to be the chalk of the slate, obviously, with guys out and against Washington. So it makes a ton of sense to play Poole with these Milwaukee guys. The rest of Washington, though, I mean, I can't play Middleton. Even if he starts, I can't. He's too dusty. I just can't click the button. But I'm sure people will play him if he starts. I mean, his projection's pretty good. He's pretty cheap. I think he'll end up somewhat owned if he starts. So I can't go there, though. I just can't play Middleton. And similar with the Milwaukee side, I don't think I can play Kuzma. I think he lost it. I think he's a guy that got the money a little bit and just I don't think he's good. And he's not cheap anymore. He's 7K. Like, you need him to get a good, and he's going to have a big projection. He's going to be high owned. I get all that. I just don't love it. I don't love the price. I mean, I get the revenge factor. I get that people are going to play him. I mean, I get all that. I just don't see it. And I like a lot of these other guys is the key too. And Giannis, I agree with what JSU was saying. I don't think he like plays crazy amount. Maybe he could even get there in like limited minutes though. I think his projection's somewhat good from where we got him at like 55. But that's not enough at this price point for me, especially with all the risk. It could blow out. The minutes could be low. And I just like these cheap guys, though. I mean, I think Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be the chalkiest guy of the slate for sure. Looking at his projection and his price, and like, I think he's just going to get hammered. But him, Ryan Rollins, Gary Trent. These are the type of guys I want. I want to play all these like 4K guys. Even AJ Green, that is super cheap. I want to pile drive in all these cheaper guys against Washington and maybe spend up in a few other spots as we go through the slate. But I'd rank them for sure. Porter Jr. is. I think he's going to be the highest owned guy on the slate, and I think he's the best play on the slate.
JC, was that you who put that up? Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I can touch on it real quick. There's two reasons why. One, they don't want to, interrupt the actual rotation. So when you take a guy out, that's a mainstay in the starting lineup. You're putting a guy in who's really not playing in any other scenario, so you don't mess up the other role players' actual, roles, right? So KPJ's role is to come off the bench and be a scorer / playmaker. They don't want to interrupt that, so they bring in someone else who's not really playing. And on top of it, you don't need to start KPJ because you don't need to add scoring to your lineup necessarily. You just want some guy who's really not going to take the ball away from Giannis, and or Kuzma and stuff like that. So that's another thing. You hear pros talk about it all the time. It's they're not always trying to start the best five. It's more about how they see the entire, that's why you'll see teams always start a guy, but he'll never finish. Happens all the time in the NBA where you know a guy is going to finish, but he never starts. That's kind of what it is in a way.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, and that doesn't mean he'll close. Also, someone in the chat's asking, where do we think Taurean Prince's 31 minutes go? You could see Gary Trent obviously just gain a lot more of them. You could see it go to
it's going to go to all those. That's another reason I like all those 4K guys. It's going to go through all of them.
Yeah.
Pat Connaughton might get a few more minutes. Pat Connaughton might get some minutes,
Yeah, not easy to predict, but great matchup, right? That's the other key. If they were playing Orlando, we'd probably be lower on it, but they're playing Washington, right? That's a key part with the decision making there. Another guy to mention too that I hadn't mentioned, and JT said it yesterday on the show, so we'll give the old man a little bit of credit, but he talked about Brook Lopez without Bobby Portis and the upside he could have, and he did get 44 DK points last night, and I don't know, Brook Lopez is not the craziest play, so the price I do think will probably keep going up on him, so thought that was worth mentioning there. Let's get to the Knicks and the Cavs. While we talk about dudes that can finish, Donovan Mitchell, he can finish at the rim. Jalen Brunson, he's another guy that can finish. Clear stud guards that we want to get exposure to. Of course, we have Karl Anthony Towns at 9.8K, but the biggest news of this slate is we are still missing Josh Hart on the Knicks, and of course, OG Anunoby is still questionable. And if OG Anunoby misses this game, the good news is this is one of the first games. It starts at 7 o'clock. There's 3 that start at 7, 1 at 7:30, and then 2 an hour later at 8:30. We'll have the news on the Knicks, right? And if OG Anunoby misses, that's going to be massive for Miles McBride, who will join the
Are you missing 2 letters when you keep saying the dude's name?
Yeah.
Are you cutting 2 letters out of it? That's like a JSU thing to do.
OG Anunoby?
He stole my
two letters.
He stole my thing. Did you notice that? He stole that from me. That was my thing. He stole it from me.
You took 2 letters out too?
No, but I'm saying I do that shit. He stole it from me. That was my thing. I'm not saying I do it with OG. I'm just saying.
I thought you were, but I wanted to make sure.
Unbelievable.
Just totally ignoring 2 letters.
Anunoby's a little too much to say. So OG Anunoby, we'll just do that. We'll move on. He hasn't deserved it too. This year he has kind of been.
Oh my God. Okay.
He hasn't been good this year, JSU. What do you mean? He hasn't been good.
He's been fine. These. Cat is so selfish. Cat and Jalen Brunson can be so selfish at times. And then they got Mikal Bridges with his weird ass shot randomly shooting the ball up. What do you want OG to do? Leave OG alone.
DC, I'm tagging you in. Talk shit about OG.
Yeah, he does suck. But the Knicks, yesterday, I was these guys. You play 3, 4, 5 Knicks in your lineup. They're all going to get there. They all got there. I know they had the overtime that did help a little bit. One interesting thing, though, about that game, I think people are going to be a little bit scared of the Knicks minutes. I think Thibodeau is looking toward this game tonight against the Cavs because he kind of played those guys like a couple, 2-3 less minutes during the regulation than you would have expected. I don't know. A long way of saying I think these Knicks are going to come out and play 40-plus minutes again tonight against the Cavs. They're going to want to win this game. Thibodeau's not going to care that they played yesterday and they played overtime. He's going to go play this game like it's freaking Game 7 of the playoffs, like he does every game, especially, against the conference rival. So, yeah, I'm in on the Knicks. I mean, Towns, I think, is a smash. I like Brunson. Depending on Anunoby, you can go back to Bridges. And then McBride, he was I thought, the easiest play on the slate yesterday. I think it's true again. I know he's not going to put up 50 again, but 4,300 is just too cheap for McBride. Even if OG plays, I think that's too cheap. So very much in on the Knicks. And, yeah, I think the Cleveland side looks pretty good too.
Yeah. Extra Sauce says he's going to make my name Magone. Extra Sauce, you didn't even add the E. So, I don't know. You should be on board with the OG Anunoby conversation. So, but JSU, we'll go over to you. I do think this game, DFS-wise, if OG is in, I wouldn't like this game as much, right? I know the Josh Hart stuff does matter, but OG being out, like it shifts the slate, right? It's very, very important news. We definitely have to talk about that. And then, of course, it's kind of a competitive game, right? Like this feels like a little bit of a playoff atmosphere kind of game where defense might be played a little bit harder. And those games I typically want to lean a little away from DFS-wise. I know that's not something we typically talk about, but there are games sometimes that we look at and we're like, this does feel like a game that's not going to be as DFS-friendly, or maybe the minutes might be tighter rotation-wise.
As a 241 total, I wouldn't be worried about too much defense in the game.
Yeah, I guess that's fair with just obviously losing OG. I'm assuming that's putting that into play.
And I don't know if you watched yesterday's game, but the Knicks had no care about defense. I mean, that first quarter, these guys were exhausted from just running up and down. There was bricks left and right.
Nobody could make a shot. JC, nobody could make a shot, but they were just wide open shots every possession. They just
every single possession, they were all getting good looks. Cat thought he was Steph Curry, like just but he was missing threes left and right. That was the only difference. But he thought he was Steph Curry out there, just fucking missing threes left and right. Josh Giddey had 8 rebounds in 7 minutes of playing time, just like in that one stint. It was ridiculous. But there was no defense playing. And it was one reason I bet the Bulls. They were like 10-point dogs. I bet the Bulls because I knew there was going to be, if you take Hart and OG both off the floor, there's not going to be as good of defense out there being played. That's just the fact. And now you have to go into Cleveland. This is what's going to happen. Either the Knicks, if OG's out, the Knicks are either, if they come out shooting poorly, they're going to get blown out by like 40. Yeah. Or if they don't, this game's going to go to the moon and we're going to have a crazy high-scoring game in which you're going to really want DFS pieces. So the OG situation's weird. It really, to me, didn't sound like he had a chance of playing when Thibodeau – it was like, I think 30 minutes before game time, man, going. Remember, he said that thing like, oh, I got to still check with the training staff. If, it just sounded like there was no shot he was actually going to play in that game. That's what it sounded like to me. So maybe that's because he's really getting ready to play for this game tonight in Cleveland. It's a big game, obviously, in the Eastern Conference, 2 of the better teams up there. Maybe that's the case. I kind of hope he's out. I really like this game.
JC, real quick, they don't play till Sunday, but they play the Boston Celtics on Sunday. So I know the Cavs game matters, but I do think they care a lot more about the Boston game, right?
Definitely. Yeah. I think with someone like OG too, who's dealt with injuries a lot, like you're going to be, you want to make sure that guy, he's ready to come back. Like he's full, because Thibodeau wants to play you. He doesn't want like the whole, I'm going to take it easy on you at first. No, he wants you to get back out there. So if he's not feeling 100, I doubt he plays. But either way, I think this is one of the better games on the slate. And again, like Josh Hart being out means a ton to this Knicks team. He's he's the guy who like gets them going, especially when they're flat and stuff like that, and they come out flat. He's the one who would just randomly push. It's another reason too why I think OG's having even more of a down year is I don't think anyone expected the type of performance that Josh Hart's given up to this point halfway through the year. I don't think anyone's expected this. I mean, like the dude's posting double doubles, some triple double lines throughout this year. Even when they're healthy, he's doing it, and he's scoring a lot more. It's because teams are like making him try and score. That's what they want, but he's been good. So I think that's another reason for OG, maybe having a little bit of a down year. But Miles McBride's way too cheap. You saw his role with both those guys out. It was crazy. He played 42 minutes. Obviously, it was OT, so you can take 5 minutes out. Still 37 minutes. He's 4,300. Precious played a ton. He played 41 minutes, and that's without the OT. He played 46 with it. Like, these guys are just going to play massive minutes. So if OG's out, I want 3 to 4 Knicks, and I want Cavs too. Like, I think the Cavs crush. I love Darius Garland. One of Darius Garland or Donnie Mitch, I think I'm going to have on most of my teams. I think one of those guys has a big game.
Don't you think the guards are the way to go with Cleveland if you're trying to play the other
side?
I
do. I do. Just watching that game against Chicago, the guards literally could do whatever they wanted. And whenever they wanted, they could get guys open looks. It felt like they were winning a lot off the dribble. Miles McBride and Precious Achiuwa are good defenders, but they're also aggressive, and they're trying to go for steals and blocks constantly. So that can lead to and ones and, getting beaten off the dribble because you're trying to rip the ball and stuff like that. So it felt to me like the guards are the way. And I think Darius Garland and Donnie Mitch, it's going to be a lot harder to pull that shit against.
Yeah. There's just no way the Knicks are playing good defense tonight. There's just no chance after, with what they showed last night and with all the minutes they've had to play last night and tonight, like they're going to have to shoot their way into this game. I'm with you, JSU, where I really like this game, but I am worried about a blowout here where the Knicks can't make their early shots and they just get absolutely.
So that's why you game stack it though, DC. Yeah. Because I think you either push your chips in on this game or you just pull them out. You know what I mean? Like it's one or the other.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, Big T, poker guy over there. So are your chips in or out on Knicks or Cavaliers?
I mean, I agree with a lot of things that you guys are saying. I always like the Knicks, though. The Knicks are the team. They just always play their guys. So it's a luxury. And I know I haven't done it as much this year with the Big T 7-7-7, but everything's aligned tonight for these early games where you still have a few higher owned guys later in the night too, but these early games are just smashes. And you got the cheap guys in the first game that I talked about. You got some more expensive guys in this game that I like a lot, and some cheap guys, because I agree, like Deuce McBride, whenever they're in this spot, even if OG's in, I still like Deuce McBride again. I mean, these guys are just in really good spots. So even looking at their roster, even with OG in, they don't have guys. I mean, they're just going to play these guys all the minutes. And Cleveland, I agree with you guys too. I want Garland or Donnie Mitch, and I kind of like Garland more. I don't know if it's just the slight savings, the 900 in savings, or I just like how Garland plays in this matchup, especially against a team like the Knicks. I think this will be higher scoring than you would normally think, because originally I was kind of thinking lower scoring too. I don't usually like Cleveland games that much, but in this type of spot with a few guys out too, I think that it's going to explode. So I love this game. Mainly the guards, though, from Cleveland. I'm looking at the rest of Cleveland. I just can't pay 8,400 for Mobley. I know sometimes he crushes. I just can't. It's just too expensive for me. I would always rather just play Jared Allen if I was going to, but it's a weird matchup for him, though, with the way the Knicks kind of play with Cat on the perimeter and stuff. It's a little bit of a weird matchup. So I wish I could argue with something, but I agree with everything that pretty much was said. The guards from Cleveland, I don't want both, though. I only want one of them. I don't really want to play both. And then the Knicks, I mean, I like these guys. So I'm okay with really any of them. I still think Precious is too expensive, but if OG's out, I mean, you can definitely play Precious even with OG out. So I like this game a lot. Even Campaign, if you really want a value, I think you can pop him in there. I love this game.
I assume Mikal Bridges will guard Donovan Mitchell. Bridges is a really good individual defender. So if you're choosing between Garland and Mitchell, maybe that'd be something to tilt you in the Garland direction.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Let's get to a game I don't think we're going to talk too much about. It's probably the worst game of the 7 o'clock window. It's Orlando and the Memphis Grizzlies. We know we don't love targeting Orlando matchups typically. We do have some cheap price tags. We talked about the Wendell Carter Jr. price yesterday from 4.1 to 4.3K, a little $200 increase. Vince Williams Jr. is someone that's gaining like a lot of ownership today. I see him at 22%. He hasn't played a lot of minutes, but he's like the min price, right? There's a difference between being 3.1K and 4K. So I assume that punt just helps the math work out, but I don't know. I don't totally understand it completely. You got Santi Aldama. He's another guy. He's like a cheap punt that is a boom bust guy. Banchero and Franz Wagner are two studs. Obviously, you can mix and match the Memphis studs as well. But overall, I think this is a game I want to be under on for the most part. DC, how about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. Orlando, their current situation with their team, I mean, it's kind of a similar thing each day, right? I think Franz Wagner and Banchero in most matchups, including this one, are pretty good plays in that mid 8K range. You know you're going to get your minutes. The floor is good, and occasionally you get a ceiling game like Banchero had yesterday, putting up 57 DK points. So I think both those guys are fine. Choosing between them is obviously difficult, and it does seem like it's one or the other with the ceiling game, not both most of the time. So I'd probably choose one of them, but yeah, who that might be, Banchero 400 cheaper and coming off the big game, so maybe I'd lean that way. But I think you can go with either one. The value on Orlando, I think, is not great outside of Wendell Carter Jr., who, again, kind of an unexciting play, I think, but 4,300, going to give you, 30 minutes at center. If you need him, no problem playing him. But beyond those three, probably not going to much else on Orlando. And then Memphis side, I mean, I just don't play that much against Orlando unless, it's like a all hands on deck type situation, which this certainly isn't for Memphis with most of their team healthy. So pretty much out on Memphis.
All right, JSU, Memphis, Orlando. What do you got here?
Yeah, it's an easy game for me because I'm probably not going to play anyone from here. So, as Memphis guys, I'm not playing Vince Williams. I guess he's 3,100. He is questionable too. So, I mean, I'll give that a shout because, I don't think Mangone said that he was on the injury report, but I'll do his job for him. Outside of that, I just don't see much that I want to play. I mean, this Orlando matchup, I just don't like playing guys against Orlando. In Orlando, and then on the Orlando side, I mean, you can pick one of Franz or Paulo, but I don't really want to do it. We talked about the last game. I like guys in the 8K. I think there's just other guys I'm going to play here. So, yeah, I'm out on this game. Make it easy.
Yes, JC. We got questionable Vince Williams Jr. and Jonathan Isaac. So that's the news there for this game. Not massive stuff, but it's not nothing. Big T, we'll go over to you. You did say it's Big T 777 night, looks like. So is Memphis and Orlando a game that you are loading the boat on?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Memphis is easy. I agree with you guys. Can't play guys against Orlando, especially Memphis. They got a lot of guys too. That's an easy fade for me. But I like Orlando a lot more than I think you guys do. Paulo, I know I have a Paulo problem, but 8,300 is too cheap for him. It just is for me. I think he should be projected close to 50, and he's only 8,300. He's projected like 45 around the industry. I just think it's too low of a projection against Memphis. I love the matchup. I love that he is starting to get more time. A few of his matchups recently too have kind of been hidden by different things. I was looking through kind of the game logs of stuff where he had a blowout one or two of those games. Like versus Denver, he had a blowout. Versus Charlotte, he had a blowout. But last game versus Atlanta, 37 minutes. I think we should see upwards of 30 minutes as these teams like Orlando start to ramp up. You're going to have teams start to tank, and you're going to have teams start to ramp up. I think Orlando's one of the ramp up teams. And yeah, you could play Franz. I agree. Like you could play one of them. I definitely wouldn't play both of them, but it's Paulo for me. And I also think Wendell is just a great play at 4,300. I just think he's rock solid in this matchup. So I like both of these guys a lot, actually.
Yeah,
definitely. You like Wendell Carter Jr.?
Yep.
He's just cheap.
You wanna just take the condom off and dangle it in the air for the people?
I don't even think it's like a condom play. He's been good. I mean, his last 2 games, he's been good in this same role.
I don't want to play him either.
what if Isaac's out too, right? Like that matters for him a little bit. Like it's not nothing.
Let him make fun of us, Travis.
Like
when he puts this 34 piece up on him, there's no condom with the 34 piece.
I know he's a good play, but I just one of those I just don't want to play him.
Hey,
Jonathan have to do one down.
Tony, I was told last night not to talk about the Pacers, and there were 2 Pacers on the winner, so that's what I was told. But it's okay.
All right, well, Mangone, you talk about the Magic.
Don't be fence riding, Travis. Come in with me. There's no fence
get in there.
Today.
I mean, geez, if you're going to talk about him, go in. I don't want to hear you like Mangone yesterday. He's like in the chat. I was going to call you out, but I did. He's like in there. He's like gently telling people like, I'm just going to go under on Alfred Payton. No, tell people you're going to fade him, Mangone, or shut up. Like, don't say you're going to go under. Like, say you're going to fade him.
Well, JC, can I explain why I had to go under?
Explain why.
On Alfred.
Because when you backload all night hoping LeBron's out, by the time you get to 7 o'clock, you're like, I don't want to have like 80%.
Did you play no Knicks?
Vincent.
Did you play no Knicks?
No, I played the Knicks. I did, but I definitely went like at one point in the night, Jason. I had
fully backload because fully backloading is like doing the K-Phallic where you like wait until 9 o'clock.
I mean, JC, at one point I had 80% Dalton Connect. So like it was 7 o'clock, right? Like it was, I know. I had to like readjust it all. And I did readjust it. And I didn't lose
to clarify, you did it. You had Knicks.
No, I had Knicks. I was overweight on all the Knicks. But I was underweight on a lot of other stuff. So, but yeah, I do agree.
It doesn't matter. You needed Knicks last night. If you didn't have Knicks, you pretty much closed the laptop at like 9:30.
Yeah, I had a lot. I was overweight on every single Knick. Every single one I was overweight. So
you should have faded Alfred, Mangone. How did you not fade Alfred?
If I knew his name was spelt like that, I would have faded him too. But I was too much of a puss.
Alfred the Butler, I was under on. I still was under. All right, let's get to Miami and Toronto. Let's not miss the injury news here. Tyler Hero, he is probable. The questionable tag is Nikola Jovic. That's definitely a small piece of news, but I don't think it's nothing. We'll go over to DC to kick it off. It's definitely going to be a game that we can't completely ignore. I do think the Toronto side is pretty interesting. Obviously, they're missing Brandon Ingram, who still hasn't made the debut. He's been hurt. Jakob Poeltl, he's still out. But Emmanuel Quickley, 6.2K. I know Bobby gave that pick 6 play out, but Emmanuel Quickley is a very intriguing play. It's not the greatest matchup in the world, but I would not be ignoring him here in this spot. Of course, there's other values like Grady Dick. On the Miami side, of course, we know it's Tyler Hero's backcourt now, 8.6K, and it's a great matchup, DC, right? This is a game that starts 30 minutes later. It's not one I think you want to go completely overweight on, but I don't think we can completely ignore the plays. Emmanuel Quickley is probably my favorite guy in this game. What about you?
So starting with the Miami side, I think these prices have come up to the point, even Hero at 8,600, where I'm looking elsewhere for the most part. They had the Jimmy Butler saga, that dragged on for, months, it seemed like. So he was out, he had other people get opportunities. You had the trade, you had people, Rozier missed some time. But now you have kind of everybody back, right? Hero's back, Adebayo's back. Ware has kind of made a name for himself. Now they've got Wiggins in there as well. Rozier playing tonight. So I think Miami overall a little bit overpriced. I do like the matchup. I think Hero's a fine play. Adebayo's a fine play. But especially if Jovic is in as well, I think Miami, for the most part, I feel relatively safe fading them. I'll be kind of surprised if someone from Miami really, really goes off for their price tag. And then, Toronto, I think this game's almost as ugly as Memphis, Orlando. I know they have, some missing pieces still Toronto, but they've got Quickly, Barnes, Barrett, Grady Dick, right? I know they're missing still Ingram, but they've got some guys that are going to have to share the basketball a little bit, and they're not cheap. So, yeah, this game, I'm really mostly out on this one. Yeah.
Oh man, my feelings.
Yes,
No.
yes. I'm so glad you felt strong with me. I wanted no one to say anything. It was the best.
You guys did good. You guys did good.
What in history of RPS
That
right
was the
there?
best ever. Usually
That's
someone
so
gets in
good.
and starts making a noise. We held strong.
Well,
Yeah.
the reason I normally hold strong is you guys are always laughing at stuff, and I'm
was
good
so
at
good.
I'm a professional.
like a
know how to
solid
get through it. I can read comments where people are shitting on me, and I still read through it and don't crack. So
What
that's
a
why.
hero.
That might
People were
have been a
checking
full
their mute
minute.
button.
Thank God I was on mute because I was laughing.
My shout out was P. Lally. Welcome to the show. You pulled to me. You're watching 30 minutes back, so I wanted to give you a shout out. So that was funny. We got the
Does
like from
anyone have
there.
weirder comments than Exumian? Like Big T needs this. I shower like 3 times a day. You need better jokes, Exumian.
Yeah.
I don't even get what that
shower 3 times a day.
Yeah.
means. I shower a lot.
What?
I like showers.
But you just shower 3 times. You're just like that's
I
like your
always shower
thing.
in the morning, and I always shower at night. And then sometimes you get sweaty during the day. You go in for a third.
Well, you take a dump, your shirt's already off, so you might as well hop in the shower.
Why can't you just wait and shower at night if you know you're
Because
going
I
to
don't
shower?
want to be sweaty.
Big T definitely takes a shower after lunch sometimes. Right?
Is that
If I take a dump, I do.
Is that why sometimes when we'd be at your house and we'd be outside hooping, you'd kind of like stay away? You didn't want to get sweaty. Is that is that actually it right there?
Correct. I don't want to be sweaty.
All right. Well, JSU, while I was talking to with the mute on, I was talking about the ownership on this game is low. And I was saying how there's only 3 guys above 10%.
That was the best segment of any show we've had at Run Pure. That was amazing. We held strong for like a minute.
I tried really hard too.
And he just kept talking too.
I knew you guys were laughing about something, but I didn't know. So I was like just going through because, again, I'm used to it. I'm used to having.
How did it feel once it hit you?
What I don't understand is if you're going to come in the chat and accuse one of us of not showering, I mean, look at Mangone up there in that beanie that he hasn't taken off in like a month, and you come after Big T for that shit? Come on, Exumian.
Yeah, and then we find out Big T showers fucking 10 times a day.
And you can make fun of me for a million things. Like, how do you say I don't shower? Make fun of me about a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, professional shower taker is Big T. We found something new out about Big T. We found something new out about him.
Take dumps with my shirt off and shower 3 times a day.
That's not as weird as showering 3 times a day.
You can't stink. You can't be sweaty.
Dude, what, do you not put deodorant on? I don't understand. Do you
stink after you work out? You were like the kid that got all sweaty.
Wait, when are you working out?
Stinky all day.
First of all, when are you working out? Second of all, if you're like work at a gym and you're just there all day, you have no choice. What do you do? What the fuck am I going to do?
It's not a shower at the gym?
Shower? Oh, yeah. My newer gym was, but my old gym didn't have a shower.
Gym.
Well, my old gym didn't have a shower.
Well, get a new gym.
Well, I did. I got a new gym. But my old gym, it was literally an old car garage.
Then I'm going home and showering before I do anything else.
Well, you know what? I couldn't, Tony, because I'd be there from like 5 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. So can't go home. Well, what are you going to do? JSU doesn't use a washcloth. I cannot confirm or deny. But I don't take showers 3 times a day. That's for sure. I take one at night or after I work out because I have a shower at my house. If I work out at my house,
you don't
take
shower
a shower
in the morning?
No, I shower at night.
Oh my God. How you wake up and don't get in the shower?
Yes.
Do you guys shower at night?
Big G, I think he's the only one here that wakes up and gets in the shower.
You don't shower in the morning? You
Big
walk
G,
out of the
wake
house
up.
without showering?
You wake up and jump in the
go.
shower. It's killing me right now.
I go
I
to
slept all night. Why would I not get a shower?
What do you wake
Oh
up
my
in a
God. First
a
the
pool
warm
of
water, now you don't bathe in the morning?
do you wake up in a pool of sweat? What am I missing? Like what? DC, am I crazy right
You
now?
guys
Like
I don't get why you have to
hell at
shower
night?
after
You
you
don't have to
sleep.
shower?
no. I wake up. I don't stink. I'm
Clean
not
off
sweating.
my weapons, and I gotta get them ready for the next day.
Yeah, you play. All these dudes reek.
Yeah, I'm back on your side, Exumian. They don't shower. They're the ones that don't shower, and you called me out.
We don't need to shower 3 times a day. Is the point? Mangone, I don't know.
Of
I
all
can't speak for
three,
Mangone.
the morning's got to be the shower.
I go to the gym first, and then I shower after the gym. That's what I do.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, I guess depending. That's different though, Mango, because you're showering because you go work out. He's getting on a bed and jumping in the shower.
Yeah.
Like,
Not
I'll
always
say
right
that-
when I wake up, but before I leave the house, I'm showering.
Well, like, yeah, that's fair. Like before I leave the house, but like do stuff. Like I'm not gonna like go.
Most of the
like,
time, you leave at some point in the morning, though, to go
wait,
somewhere.
so Mangone, if you're going to the gym, you like go take a shower before you go to the gym?
I do.
No, I don't. I go to the gym and then I shower after the gym.
That's what I do
Dude,
too.
you're just gonna get sweaty.
Then I'll
If
take
I'm gonna
another
get-
shower. What are you guys trying to save water?
Big
I'm
Big
dying
shower.
over here. I
I can't believe you guys don't shower in the morning.
Exumian, I literally have worked out more in the last 10 years than you have in your whole life. Get
Exumian
the fuck
just has
outta
the
here.
strangest stuff. He just comes in
That's
there.
crazy. And I like Exumian, but hey, you're fucking off your rocker.
I like
Literally.
him because he just says the most random stuff. That's what makes me like him. He just says random stuff.
I would spend fucking 12, 15 hours in a gym in a day. And this guy's like, yeah, these guys have never worked out in their lives. Get out of here. All right. Back to the hoops, because I can't talk about Tony showering in the morning and whatever the fuck else he does. Like, he must go like rub one out in the shower or something, like just to get it out in the morning.
How did you transition into that?
I don't understand why else you would shower.
He's
in
like,
the
I don't want to
morning.
talk about Tony showering anymore. Oh, he rubs it out in the shower.
I just don't understand. I gotta find there's got to be
I
a
want to
reason
be
behind
clean to
it.
start my day. Fresh clothes,
I don't
clean.
get it. I don't understand.
This jazz is
all
on
right.
fire. Talk about the game. I mean, I could go on forever. There's more things we can talk about.
Yeah.
Jason,
We were on Miami and Toronto, right? This game.
We are on Miami, Toronto. We're crawling here, but we're on Miami.
Yeah,
Toronto.
yeah, that's all right. We can crawl. It's fine. Miami's, I think it's pretty simple. Like if Jovic is out, I do think it kind of helps the bigs, mainly Bam though, and the price tags on all these other guys, I kind of agree with DC are like pretty fair. So even if Jovic is out, I don't think that necessarily means like you have to play more Miami guys. I just think it's a good matchup for Bam. I think it's a spot where, Toronto's thin, with their bigs right now. And Bam can just absolutely crush. He's crushing this matchup before. And, the only thing is his price tag. It's a little expensive. I mean, Tony was talking up Paolo, and I don't even like that game. But, like, Bam and Paolo, the same price just feels weird. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like Paolo's got a bigger ceiling. But Bam can still do it for tournaments. So I think he's the one Miami guy I'll leave in there. And the Toronto side, I guess quickly at 6,200 would be like the only guy. Because I do think the price tag's still a little too cheap for him. He's mainly a scorer, which kind of sucks, but he could do it. He could get hot. So I think he's the one Toronto guy I'll look at, but I'm probably not going to spend up for Scotty. And I hate these spend down Toronto guys. There's too many of them. They all kind of have somewhat similar roles. I don't see it. So I think there's better spend downs in the Washington Milwaukee game. I think the Knicks game could have better spend down. So I'm not going to get cheap guys from this game.
All right, Big T. This starts at 7:30, so it's not your first 3 games, but we got Bam at Bio, obviously to talk about here in this game. But what's your thoughts?
Nice work. I like that. But Bam, I'm not usually a big Bam guy, but I do agree with what JSU was saying, where especially if Jovic is out, and he's actually popped a little bit of upside too since the Jimmy trade. He's got like a 70-point game, 60-point game. He feels like a condom play a little bit for sure. And every time I play him, I feel like he sucks. But Toronto is like the Washington matchup where they just don't play much defense, especially inside. It, in theory, could be a nice spot for Bam. So I'm definitely leaving Bam in the pool. I agree with DC with the rest of Miami. Just not a ton there when they have all these guys back. It would just be Bam for me. And then Toronto, just quickly, really. I think his price is good. I definitely feel like he's more of a cash play, though, than tournament. There's not many guys that I feel like that, but I feel like he gets like 33 a lot of the 33, 34, 35 a lot of the time, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. I just don't know if he pops off all that much against Miami. So not a ton here, but I do like Bam.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best game on the slate, but there's plays to talk about. And these next 2 games, we definitely have plays we got to discuss here. We'll talk about the Pistons and the Spurs. First, obviously, they're missing Victor Wembanyama. That's obviously an important note. So we are going to want to mix and match the Spurs, De'Aaron Fox. He was 7.9K yesterday. I said that is way too cheap. Only a $300 price increase in this spot. That is way too cheap. So you're going to have to like him. He is underpriced. Kate Cunningham, this is a really good matchup for him. So as a stud spend, I think he is another guy that we want to discuss. And then, of course, DC, we got to talk about my boy, Tobias Harris, in this matchup at 6.1K. What's your thoughts on Spurs and Pistons?
Yeah. Your boy Tobias. Once again, I'll probably leave him to Mr. Mangone. For the Pistons side, I mean, they got like everybody healthy at this point, right? Or pretty close to it, obviously, besides Jaden Ivey. So outside of Cunningham, I mean, I don't think I'm playing Schroeder or Beasley or Thompson or Harris on this slate. So not going to be going to those guys. Cunningham, I definitely think is a fine play. I think there's other spends that I like a little bit better than Cunningham, but certainly in play, no problem with him. And then, we'll see what the Spurs do. I imagine they're going to have kind of rotating starting lineups without Wembanyama. Last night, everybody made their lineups like Sohan was starting, right? Then he didn't end up starting. A lot of people stuck with him. Had a decent game, 26 fantasy points. I wouldn't be shocked if he started tonight. Again, I do think the Spurs are going to go that way in general, but his price is up, 5,500. I think he's fine there, especially if he starts. And then, I do think Fox is the one you want from the Spurs if you're going there, but I was wrong last night, but I still don't think like 8,200 for Fox when there's other guys in the backcourt like CP3 and Castle is that much of an egregiously low price point. So Fox is certainly a good play, but again, I'll probably end up elsewhere myself.
For sure. JSU. I think Kate Cunningham, I think he's one of the better spends on this slate. I think he's someone that I'm going to want to get overweight on. Like I said, I love De'Aaron Fox, obviously, and then you got to kind of mix and match these other Spurs. I don't want to be like playing 3 of them or anything like that, especially if we get the Knicks news that OG is out. That's going to be important, but we can't completely ignore the Spurs in this spot. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, first off, Wemby being out, that is just killer to the NBA right now with the ratings the way they are, and man, losing someone like that it absolutely sucks. Sucks for that team too. I mean, if you could go back right now, would you not make that Fox trade? Because I think right now I probably wouldn't. I'd want to be worse. I'd want to, try and get a better draft pick, a few draft picks or something like that. But I think the Spurs are going to be a little too good probably to get top pick, but we'll see. They've got other teams' picks too, I guess. So we'll see on that, but it just sucks overall for that team who went for it. Also, side note, how is Dyson Daniels 18-1 for Defensive Player of the Year? How is Jaren Jackson minus 115? I know he's great. Like I know
It all
he's
comes
great.
down to block shots with that stupid award.
Yeah, it comes down to if you
leading
make
the
like the
league.
playoffs and stuff. If the Hawks don't make the playoffs, they're not going to.
Did you see the guy that bet like 10K on Wemby at like minus 3,500 and then he got injured?
No, I didn't see that.
I had a pretty big bet on normal odds, and I'm still tilted by the injury. Is like,
what was the normal odds? Like 160.
It was early in the year. It was literally like minus 200 or something. Like it was nothing.
Yeah, I think he started the year like minus 160, right? I think.
It was early in the and futures just suck because of that. Like injuries, not only do they hold your money for 8 months, but you got to avoid injuries on top of it. It's just brutal.
I just don't understand though how Lou Dort and Evan Mobley and Jaren Jackson can have that much better odds than Dyson Daniels.
Because they're always going to give it to whoever has the most blocks.
But he's got 1 billion steals. I mean, that's got to count for something. We're playing defense here. What is blocks the only thing, only category we care about?
Every year they give it to the stupid block. Draymond's complained about it forever because it was always the block guy.
Well, either way, that's crazy. Like 18-1, that he should win. If the Hawks make the playoffs with that sorry ass team, he should win Defensive Player of the Year for sure. It shouldn't even be close either. I don't care what Jaren Jackson does the rest of the year.
Atlanta's even not even on the slate. How'd you get to freaking Dyson Daniels?
Because Wemby's was the obvious defensive player of the year, and I wasn't going to complain about.
You needed to bring up the injustice of the 18-1.
Yeah, and then I looked at the odds and I got really mad. I was like, this is bullshit.
It needed to be addressed. All right, I got it.
Yeah. All right, but anyways, the Spurs. We all got, kind of Shohan. We all thought it was possible he could start. He still played 28 minutes, played a lot of that game. I do think with Bassey back, though, I would assume they go to start him, Mangone. I don't know if that's if we have anything on that. They started Bismack yesterday. He didn't really do shit.
I don't know what they're going to do, right? Like I would, this is what
I think they'll do. I think this was the plan. I think the plan was Bassey was out. Bismack was on that 10-day. They gave Bismack the start. They figured Bassey be back tomorrow. I think Bassey plays at least probably starts and plays the minutes that Bismack got. Maybe he gets to low 20s. I do think he's better than Bismack at this point in Bismack's career. I think Bassey's a little better. And he's a decent fantasy point per minute guy when he gets the opportunity too. So I just wouldn't forget about him. I could see him starting. That doesn't mean he'll close. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier in the show, but it's just something to think about. I think he's not terrible if he gets that start. And then, De'Aaron Fox, you guys touched on. I don't got much else to add on De'Aaron Fox. CP3, though, was actually pretty impressive. He had the ball in his hands a ton. I thought without Wemby, too, it would hurt him. It actually made him a little more aggressive. You know what I mean? Took 10 shots for the first time in a while in the season. And, maybe that means he's going to shoot a little bit more, had 10 assists. I don't mind him. 5,600 still seems pretty cheap for Fox, so I don't mind him. I think Castle's feels a little priced out for his role, even though he did get there last time out. I don't think you can bank on, 10 rebounds at 6,400. So I feel like Vassell's a little better play, but yeah, right now I like Fox, Paul, and I think Bassey, he starts. If he starts, I might like him a little bit.
Yeah, obviously if Bassey starts, that'll make me like him a lot more. I don't know if I'd adjust my whole lineup and backroad for it, right? Especially if we get the Knicks news, that's something else to kind of mention. But Big T, let's go over to you. Detroit and the Spurs. There's definitely good plays in this game. It's got a pretty healthy total too, so I don't want to ignore it. It sounds like you might want to ignore it though, because you talked about not liking these later games.
Yeah, I definitely don't love the later spots. Just looking at some of this, the Spurs always scare me in these spots where I just feel like they're gonna start tanking. I know they traded for Fox. They're gonna be super careful with winning games now because they want to get up and like the whole David Robinson, Tim Duncan thing. I've already seen it with the Duke kid coming and playing with Wemby and stuff. If they just lose a bunch of games and run it out and get lucky in the draft, I just don't love this game. And again, there's 3 games at 7, 1 at 7:30, and then a couple at 8:30. And just looking at these games, I just don't love them. So I know that you're not supposed to do this and it's not good strategy, but if I don't like the games, I'm only playing one team tonight, just my standard one team where I play the team I like. If I was playing 150, I would definitely, even if I was playing 20, I would definitely play some guys in here. But if I was playing 1 or 3, I don't like these games. Like, I like Cade. I think he's a good play, but do I like him more than some of the spins early? No. I mean, he's fine. I like him. I could play him if I wanted to. I don't have any issue with it. But I really like some of the guards early. Do I like Officer Thompson? Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good. He's been a bunch of games in the 30s, but his price is a little higher now, coming back from the break. I just don't need it. He's fine. I'm okay if he's in there. And then the Spurs side, I just don't trust the Spurs side. I do like Charles Bassey. I always do. But he's going to be – you just never know with these minutes. Like, he'll probably still get there. I think he's an okay play. I just like Wendell. I know they're not the same exact price, but I like Wendell way more. I just feel like the Spurs in these spots are going to play a million guys, and none of the prices stick out. So I'm going to be off this game.
All right, Big T's off this game. Let's get to the last one of the slate, Pelicans and the Dallas Mavericks. If you guys could too, please hit that like for us. We would appreciate it here, and subscribe to the channel to find out when we go live with all of our content. Let's get to Pelicans and Mavericks, though, and don't look now. Max Christie has been on an absolute tear. I'm still playing him at 5.4K. I think he's a great play on this slate. PJ Washington looks like he could be back for this game. He's been out. He's questionable. Dwight Powell, he's also doubtful. But this is definitely an important piece of news because, hey, if PJ Washington's back, I'm going to like him a lot. I'm also going to like other pieces if he's out. So this news definitely matters when kind of making your lineups. But PJ Washington is someone that's on my radar as well. Klay Thompson, if PJ was out, that'd make him interesting. It'd even secure the role for Max Christie even more. So, again, we got to figure out what we're going to do with this news. DC, I'm not saying we want to backload for it, but there's clearly some good plays in this game. And, of course, the Pelican side of the ball, there's good plays over there as well. Jose Alvarado, he's starting now. His price has gone up at 5.5K. Zion Williamson, he's coming in at 20%. So there's good plays in this game, but how are you going to attack it with your lineups?
Yeah, so for Dallas, a lot depends on PJ Washington, whether or not he plays. He's been out for a while. He's missed, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
And we don't know. I think Gafford was still healthy when Washington got hurt. Yeah, Gafford got hurt the next game. So we haven't really seen Dallas with Washington and without Gafford, but I do think there's a chance that he plays like the vast majority of the minutes at the 5 for Dallas, which I think would make him a really, really awesome play with all the guys that they're currently missing, Gafford and Lively. So, again, don't know if he's going to play. If he does, I'm sure he'll get him super low owned, right? Last game of the night, he's questionable, hasn't played in a while. I think Washington is someone to consider. Obviously, you need swaps. And then, yeah, Mangon, I think you nailed it with Max Christie. You know, you trade Luka like the most unpopular trade in NBA history among the fans. You get Anthony Davis back. He gets hurt. And what are you left with? You're left with Max Christie. So, hey, Max, looks like you're playing 39 minutes a game and go get it done because you gotta save some face for us. So I think Max Christie's minutes are honestly pretty secure at this point. He looks more aggressive. Looks like he's got something to prove. And I think that the organization has every reason to set him up for success. So I like Christie. I like Washington if he plays. Kyrie's too expensive. I never played Klay Thompson. So mostly Christie and then PJ if he's in there. And then Pelican side, I'm not going to end up on this. I never play Zion at 8,500 I don't think they just don't let him play over 30 minutes. It's like 27, 28. He goes off every game, but it's never on my roster and it won't be tonight either.
All right. JSU, what are you smiling about over there? You're smiling about
it's just another guy who leaves the Lakers, leaves quote unquote the greatest to ever play the game. And my God, he looks like an absolute stud out there. I mean, Max Christie, son of Doug, just kidding. has been balling right now, playing a ton of minutes. And I just love it when players leave, quote unquote, the greatest of all time. And they look twice as good. So, yeah, I mean, Max Christie, Hooper. I don't think anyone realized.
LeBron was holding Max Christie back.
LeBron holds everybody back. Luka's going to find that out shortly because Luka is not going to like playing with LeBron. I can guarantee you that. That's a fact 100%. He is not going to like it.
Don't engage, Big T. Just let it go.
I'm just telling you.
I always just ignore him.
I'm just telling you he's not going to like it. Luka needs the ball.
It would be like when Jordan's playing with the Wizards and he's like, no one likes to play with Jordan when he's 48 years old and play like
everyone wanted to play with Jordan. Jordan was God.
Everyone wanted
every
to play
player
with Jordan.
who played with him. Jordan, every player looked up to Michael Jordan. You want to know why?
Did Isaiah Thomas look up to Michael Jordan?
No, he looked down to Michael Jordan.
That's not true.
Jordan was his daddy too.
I'm pretty sure Jerry Stackhouse hated playing with Michael Jordan.
Plenty of people hated playing with Jordan.
Listen. I'm just telling you, it's great to watch. It's amazing to watch because all these LeBron guys, Luka's gonna hate it. I'm telling you, he's not gonna stay with the Lakers if LeBron stays.
I mean, LeBron's gonna play with him for like 1 year.
Yeah,
He's gonna be in LA.
Why? LeBron could play longer.
48 years old.
He could look at what he's doing. He could play until he's fucking 45 if he wanted to.
Doesn't mean he wants to.
No, I don't know if he wants to. I'm just saying, could he? Do you think he could?
We should talk about news. We just got Vince Williams. He is out, and also I don't know if I mentioned earlier, Jonathan Isaac got ruled out. And another piece to mention: Giannis will remain limited to around 24 minutes if he plays Friday. So big if that would really shake up the slate. But
if he plays what? What did you say?
Funny is in the morning, man, I posted in our Discord. I said I would not be stunned if both Dame and Giannis got ruled out. We're gonna get the Giannis rule out at like 6:50. Watch, it's gonna happen.
The exact words from Doc Rivers are: Giannis will remain limited to around 24 minutes if he plays Friday, per Coach Rivers. So that's the exact quote. Don't shoot the messenger if he plays.
That sounds like a not ruled out but doesn't play at all type of scenario.
That quote's not nothing. I'll say that.
He's preparing you to get ruled out if he doesn't feel at all right, or they already know it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing the Wizards. Like,
the good news is we'll know. I mean, we should know. You never know with the NBA, but we'll know. It's a 7:00 game. I think we'll know, but we'll have to see.
Big T thinks he does. Big T thinks he does.
Of course he re-signs with LA. Like, not even a question.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyone signing with LA for max, like everyone wants to live in LA if they could choose. Like for max money, and you could have a house wherever you want. Like perfect weather.
He's not even in the same sentence as Kobe. Kobe GOAT.
We can't
LeBron,
sit here. We've already been on for an hour and 50. We can't talk about this nonsense.
Yes, we can. I know you hate it, but it's just the truth. Like Kobe GOAT, LeBron. Nah, that's just
JSU is 100% down to debate MJ versus LeBron for the next hour.
MJ versus LeBron versus Kobe, AI versus LeBron. Bring them all. I don't care. I'll talk about them all. Greatness right there.
AI versus LeBron.
AI, baby. He was fucking 5'11". That's how great he was.
You get extra credit just because you're small? Does it make you better?
How many people in the league did what I did at that size? Literally, you can't name many people. There's a reason.
What does it matter? It's still what you do. It doesn't matter if you're small. Shaq didn't get deducted for being big.
What do you mean? 100%. Shaq was fucking ginormous, but he couldn't do other things. Like, yeah.
So you're giving the little guys extra credit and deducting the big guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no bias at all in what I say, guys. Zero bias. Okay. If you're short, I give you more credit. If you're tall, fuck you. That's just the truth. All right.
Jack gets mad at me when I mention players on the slate like Aaron Neesmith or injury reports, and then JSU is talking about Allen fucking Iverson in 2025 versus LeBron James. I just want to let you know, chat, that's what JSU just did. He just compared Allen Iverson to LeBron.
He didn't compare. He said he's better.
Yeah, he's better.
Damn
Sorry.
right.
Even
Damn
worse.
right. More iconic, baby. AI fade, the headband, the whole thing. AI. All right, get out of here. Your takes are terrible, JD. Get out of here. You were saying steals don't matter just a few moments ago. Get out of here with your takes. Terrible takes. All right. Which game are we on, man? Going? I lost all track. I just all I could see was Lakers and AI.
Game of the slate. So lock in and figure out.
All I could see was AI stepping over Tyronn Lue in the finals. That's all I could see.
Another 4-1 defeat in the finals. He was incredible.
All right. This game's simple because it's a good matchup for Dallas, but the problem is the PJ stuff. If he plays, does he get full run? Probably not. I think that outside of Kyrie, they've been pretty careful with some of these guys on Dallas. Like even Najee Marshall, like 27, 30 minutes. You know, they're giving a few guys big minutes. Like Kyrie's been playing big minutes. I just don't know if they're going to push PJ even if he's fully available. So, and he's 7,200. I would agree with Mangone though. Like if you told me he was getting full run, Mangone starting, I think he'd be a great play. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. So, you know, with that, I do think like one of Max Christie or like Klay Thompson could have a good game shooting. I do think one of those guys could be decent fantasy plays. I don't know which one it's going to be, and I feel like it's like a toss-up thing with those guys. So they'd be more like a last piece. I do think if you want to spend up, you could spend up for a Kyrie. It's a good spot. He's been awesome. Like I said, the minutes have been awesome for him too. If you want to go there, I just think the Knicks spends are going to be better. I think the Cleveland spends, like some of these other spots, are just a little better. So I'm probably going to be lower on this game just because I think some of these guys, even though I rate them good, I think I'm going to have a few spots ahead of them in these other games. So yeah, lower than I am comfortable being, but when you're only playing, 2 or 3 lineups, can't play all these games.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Big T, wrap it up for us. Pelicans and Mavericks.
Yeah, I mean, I've already said my strategy. I'm not going to play these late games tonight, so I don't like it. OGN does downgrade a couple of those Knicks guys, just a hair, just a little bit. I mean, I still like them, but it's at least a slight downgrade. And I will circle back just a little on Kuzma. I still don't love Kuzma, but if Giannis is like actually for sure limited like that or out, I just have to play a little Kuzma. I can't help myself against Washington. It's probably going to bite me, but I wanted to be clear because I don't want to be in Mango's like tomorrow where I hated him, then I played him, and then I'm making it clear that I'm probably going to play Kuzma now with the Giannis news. So I'm taking my stand, Travis.
I took my stand. If you go back and watch the tape, I'll die on that hill.
He's going back to the tape.
I will. Yeah, go watch the tape. Hey, yeah.
He's on mute now. No.
Yeah. Good job, DC.
He told Tony to go watch the tape. Go watch the tape. I want to see Tony go back.
Right on that after the show. We'll go watch the tape.
It's early on, Big T. It's early on in the show. You don't have to wait like 40 minutes in.
Nobody's going to watch the fucking tape, man.
I might actually go watch it, but I need to get it narrowed down.
DC spreads the fake news. It's okay. No worries. Don't worry about it. But yeah, this is obviously not a game that Big T likes. It's a game that if you do backload for, I will say that you could be in trouble.
There's always an edge. I'll say it every NBA show I ever do. There's definitely an edge to backloading just because when it breaks your way and this Milwaukee game somehow blows out or weird stuff happens, you just get a low-owned guy.
Yeah. The other thing too, I'll say, Tony, is like if you do backload it, like you could be in trouble, right? I mean, I guess you could
be in big trouble, but you could also be way ahead if a couple of those, like if Kuzma gets 22 or something tonight, and then those other, like you could be sitting great. But yeah, you could be stone cold dead by the time the late game starts.
Tony and this 777 bullshit is because before I even knew Tony, I would remember seeing his name and I would always make fun of, I didn't know Tony at this point, but I'd always make fun of his strategy because I'd be like, this dude played 7 guys from one game in the beginning of the game and all of his guys are early. How the hell is he going to win first playing 7 guys from one game? I always thought it was like the worst strategy ever,
It usually is the worst strategy until it isn't.
But yeah, like you said, like when all the games blow out late and you're just still sitting at the top,
and you get double overtime or something in that first game, like it doesn't look stupid then.
There's ways where it can win. It's just funny because I always used to make fun of you and people who would do that.
Of it. It's a bad strategy overall.
But you can catch it just like Mangone when we backload. We can catch the right news to shit. You know what I mean? Like, it can help us naturally fade spots that we'd be playing in other scenarios. So.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I will do this real quick before we get to plays of the day. Quick FanDuel breakdown. I can give you it really fast. There is a big piece of news if you are playing that slate. Conley's questionable, and Edwards and Gobert. So that's in the Houston game. So that's a big piece to watch for that you could definitely backload a bit for. You got some rough teams on that slate, though. You got OKC, which you can obviously always play, but they're playing Utah. Utah is not really a fun team to play. If I played anyone in Utah, it'd probably be Jordan Clarkson at 5.9K. Big T left us. I assume he had something to do. And then the Golden State Warriors are also on the slate, who are not a fun team to roster. And then you got the Kings. So that's a quick breakdown, though. There's not much to really say. Big T didn't give us a play of the day, unfortunately. He got him out of here. So
he gave us the old Irish goodbye. Just peaced out, didn't say nothing, just gone.
I mean, that's bad. That's bad hosting. You got Big T on the show. That's his patented move, Mangone. That's bad hosting right there. I'm just gonna say it. Bad move by Big T, but there's a possibility he's gonna pull that shit. You got to get it out of him while he's on.
I mean, maybe I want the members to get it in the Discord chat. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe it was a good hosting job to convince people to sign up using the code RPS15, getting 15% off your first payment. So, but all right, let's get the plays of the day. DC, I'll let you go first. Who do you got? Who is your play of the day?
Going back to my same guy with yesterday. Yesterday's Towns put up the 60-piece for us. He does another one tonight. Just watching this Knicks team play without Josh Hart, man, it runs through Towns. And I think he's got another big game in him. And honestly, the OG playing, I don't think it downgrades the main Knicks guys all that much. They're just going to take away minutes from some of the scrubs. And then OG's not like a high usage player anyway. So I'm not really worried about that for the Knicks guys that I do really like once again tonight.
All right, it is for DC. If you want to blame someone for not getting Big T's play of the day, blame the dude talking about Allen Iverson.
No. You don't have to blame anyone because unlike Mangone, I know Big T. I know where he was leaning before he left.
Okay.
I already know. So I can tell you his play of the day, and then the members at Run Pure Sports can verify it because I know who he was going to pick. I know Mangone. I'm like 99.
I think I know who it is too.
I'm 100% sure. Fuck 99%. I'm 100% sure. I know this is Big T's play of the day, the workbench play. His play of the day is Paolo Banchero. Check my work, Mangone, because I'm booking it right now. That's his play of the day. Book it. I know it for a fact. It's Paolo. I'm telling you right now, that's his play of the day. So you members, you can guarantee it. I can guarantee it though. That was his play.
If Big T was Mangone, he would take credit if Paolo does well, but take no fault if Paolo does bad.
Because I said it for him. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. My play of the day though is going to be Darius Garland. I think those Cavs guards. I was definitely going between two of them, but I think Garland has a big game. I like both of them, honestly, but I'm only going to play one. I'm going to go with the guy who's a little cheaper, but Garland 7,400 against the Knicks. Sign me up for some Darius Garland here. So,
all right, JC, I wrote it in the Discord chat, so we're waiting for Big T to respond. We'll see if he decides to. I added you both, so you should get the notification when he responds. But good play of the day there. I said, give us your play of the day at JSU says he knows who you're picking. So that way we're not going to spoil it. We want to see.
I got you. We
want to see if you guessed it right. So I want to make sure you're tagged on it. You can check the work. The members can see it as well, but that JSU's giving out Big T's and JSU's play of the day. My play of the day, it was the guy we talked about last. It's Max Christie. Without LeBron James, he is finally unlocked. He's amazing now, JSU. So Give me Max Christie, even if PJ Washington is in. And if he's out, we get a nice little bump. So Max Christie is my play of the day. We've been on the show for a while here. We've been on for an hour and 30 minutes. Had a lot of fun. It was a good time doing the 4-man booth, but we got to get on out of here. We got to update our cores and everything else and get our own lineups in. So for me, Mangone, DC, Big T, and JSU, we'll see you guys later.